Dung Fu invites you to listen to the Dhammapada, one of the Dharma of Buddha Shakyamuni. The 65 verses from the Buddhist scriptures on the YouTube channel TIයෙන් Thai in the USA. Though only for a moment a discerning person associate with a wise man. Quickly he comprehends the Dharma, just as the tongue tastes the flavor of the soup. This verse is a mirror of awakening. The Buddha shows us that when the heart is ready, even a brief moment with a wise teacher can bring insight. Wisdom is not measured by time spent, nor by years of hearing words. It is measured by openness, discernment, and the readiness to practice. The tongue tastes the flavor of the soup instantly. It does not need to wait. It does not need to analyze the ingredients. When the soup touches the tongue, the flavor is known. So too with Dharma. When the heart is ready, understanding comes swiftly. Beloved friends, consider the disciple who approaches a wise teacher. The Dharma enters directly, naturally, and completely. There is a story from the time of the Buddha. A young man named Siddha approached the Buddha. He had little time, little experience, and no advanced learning. Yet he was humble, attentive, and sincere. The Buddha spoke a few sentences about mindfulness of breath. Siddha's heart opened. He understood the nature of mind. His life changed. He had comprehended the Dharma quickly, like the tongue tasting soup. This verse teaches us the importance of discernment. Not every ear hears equally. We may sit beside the wise for years. We may attend teachings for decades. But without discernment, without openness, without practice, we may not comprehend. Yet the heart ready to receive can taste the flavor of the Dharma immediately. The Buddha's teaching is gentle but profound. He does not demand long study as a prerequisite. He shows that sincere attention is the key. Like the tongue tasting soup, the moment is enough when the heart is present. Let us bring this verse into daily life. When we hear a teaching, let us pause. Let us be attentive. Let us ask, am I ready to taste? Am I ready to live? Am I ready to transform? If we are, insight comes naturally. Even a small act of kindness practiced with discernment carries the same power. Even a single moment of mindfulness practiced with awareness transforms the mind. Even one breath observed with care opens the door to wisdom. Beloved ones, the Dharma is alive. It is not in words alone. It is not in form alone. It is in direct experience. It is in tasting. A mind open and sincere can comprehend truth immediately. A heart attentive and humble can taste the Dharma fully, even in a brief encounter. There is a story from the Buddha's time. A wandering ascetic once approached the Buddha. He had wandered many lands seeking wisdom, but he was proud, restless, and impatient. When he spoke to the Buddha, he was eager to hear a long discourse. The Buddha said only, "Let go of pride. Observe your mind." Instantly, the ascetic felt a shift. He understood what he had not understood in years. Like the tongue tasting soup, his heart had recognized the flavor. This teaches us that wisdom is not accumulated in a ledger of time. Wisdom is recognized in a moment of clarity. It is like lightning illuminating the sky. It does not require months or years to shine. Friends, consider meditation. A practitioner may sit in silence for hours. Yet if the mind is dull, distracted, or unconcerned, no insight arises. Another may sit for a single breath with full attention. One mindful breath can reveal the truth of impermanence. One mindful breath can reveal the nature of mind. One mindful breath can reveal compassion. Insight is not measured by duration, but by presence. The Buddha compares this to tasting soup. The tongue knows the taste immediately. It does not analyze or wait. The flavor is experienced directly. So too with Dharma. When the heart is ready, understanding comes directly, naturally, and fully in daily life. Even small encounters with the wise can be transformative. A kind word spoken by a teacher, a gentle correction from a friend, a single story shared by a parent. If the heart is attentive, the Dharma is comprehended. There is a Jataka tale of a young deer who followed an elder deer in the forest. For many days he observed. Yet he learned nothing because he only watched with distraction. One day, the elder whispered a single instruction. Step lightly, watch carefully, breathe deeply. Instantly, the young deer understood. His movements became precise. His mind became calm. He had comprehended the essence in a moment, like tasting the soup. Beloved ones, the lesson is clear. We do not need endless words to awaken. We do not need years of study to taste the Dharma. We need sincerity. We need discernment. We need openness. The Buddha's presence is like a fragrant flower. The fragrance may touch some lightly and remain unnoticed by others. The fragrance may touch another deeply, opening the heart in an instant. Even a brief encounter with the wise can awaken insight when the heart is ready. When we cultivate mindfulness and compassion in daily life, even small actions become tasting of the Dharma. When we forgive once, we taste freedom. When we speak kindly once, we taste peace. When we breathe mindfully once, we taste clarity. These are small moments of insight. To approach the wise not with pride, not with distraction, but with humility and sincerity. Then, even a moment is enough. Even a single teaching is enough. Even one breath can awaken. Though only for a moment a discerning person associate with a wise man. Quickly he comprehends the Dharma, just as the tongue tastes the flavor of the soup. Beloved friends, this verse reveals the profound power of openness and sincerity. A mind ready to receive the Dharma can comprehend truth instantly. Even a brief conversation, a short teaching, a single gesture from the wise, can awaken insight that changes a lifetime. There is a story of the Bodhisattva in a past life, born as a humble servant in a royal palace. One day, a wise sage visited the palace and spoke a single line about generosity. Though the servant had no formal education, he reflected deeply. He immediately understood the value of selfless giving. His heart expanded. He became compassionate and wise. In one moment, he tasted the essence of Dharma. This teaches us that insight does not depend on words alone, nor on position, nor on status. It depends on discernment, sincerity, and openness. Even a simple heart, humble and ready, can comprehend the depth of truth in an instant. The Buddha's metaphor of tasting soup is perfect. A spoon resting in soup experiences nothing, but the tongue experiences fully in one moment. So too, a person may live for many years with wise teachers and never comprehend the impermanence of all things and the arising of compassion. This is tasting the Dharma. There is a Jataka tale of a bird who observed the sun rising every morning. For many days, let us observe with awareness. The moment may be brief, yet comprehension can be complete. The Buddha compares this to the tongue tasting soup. The soup is present. A small act done with discernment transforms the heart. A brief moment of mindfulness heals suffering. A single moment of awareness reveals the truth of impermanence. The Dharma is immediate. The Dharma is alive. The Dharma is tasting. Even a brief meeting with a wise teacher can awaken insight. A discerning person opens the heart fully and grasps the truth of the Dharma, just as the tongue immediately recognizes the flavor of soup. Consider the story of a young monk who had spent years wandering, seeking answers in distant lands. One day, he came upon an elder monk who shared a single teaching about letting go of attachment. That single lesson, absorbed with an open mind, transformed his understanding completely. He realized the fleeting nature of worldly concerns and began to cultivate true inner freedom. Insight does not depend on the duration of exposure, but on the readiness to perceive. A mind that is clear, humble, and attentive can receive profound teachings in an instant. This is the gift of discernment. One moment of full attention is worth far more than countless hours of distracted listening. In daily life, opportunities to practice appear in small ways. When a person listens attentively to another's suffering, even for a short while, compassion arises. When a brief act of generosity is performed sincerely, joy manifests instantly. These small, mindful actions are like tasting the richness of the Dharma directly. There is a Jataka tale of a wise elephant guiding a herd through the forest. One young elephant struggled to understand the path. The elder touched him gently with guidance, showing the way over a single branch and across a small stream. In that brief instruction, the young elephant comprehended the route for life. Similarly, a kind word spoken with awareness can heal wounds instantly. A short gesture of patience can prevent conflict. The heart, fully present, absorbs wisdom naturally. In the life of the Buddha, many disciples attained realization through brief encounters. Some heard only a sentence or a short teaching and immediately understood the essence of impermanence, the nature of suffering, and the power of compassion. They practiced diligently from that moment onward. These examples show that wisdom is not measured by time, but by the quality of attention and openness of heart. Consider a modern example. A person reads a Dharma book for a few minutes during a busy day. If they reflect sincerely, the teaching may ignite insight. Another may read the same book for months without change if distracted or prideful. The difference lies in clarity, humility, and attentiveness, the same principles conveyed in the verse. Discernment enables immediate comprehension. The one who is fully attentive, ready to practice, and free from arrogance tastes the essence directly. This is the power of a mindful and receptive heart. The teaching of the Buddha is not about accumulation of knowledge, but realization through awareness. In each action, there is opportunity for tasting the Dharma. Walking, breathing, speaking, serving, or listening. All can be moments of awakening if approached with discernment. Even brief engagements, small acts, or short instructions can be sufficient for transformation when the heart is receptive. A wise person who approaches the teachings with openness can grasp the Dharma immediately, as the tongue senses the flavor of soup without hesitation. Wisdom is not measured by time spent or by the number of teachings heard. It is measured by the readiness of the heart to receive and integrate insight. There was once a farmer who worked in the fields from dawn to dusk. One day, a wandering monk passed by and shared a few words about the impermanence of life. The farmer paused, reflected deeply, and immediately understood. He realized the transient nature of joy and sorrow. From that day, he cultivated patience, kindness, and mindfulness in every action. Though the teaching was brief, his comprehension was complete. In the practice of meditation, we see the same principle. A practitioner may sit for many hours, yet remain distracted, restless, or attached to desire. Another may sit for a single mindful breath, observing the rise and fall of the body, the flow of thoughts, and the arising of sensations, and suddenly perceive the true nature of mind. Understanding dawns not from duration, but from attentiveness and openness. Consider the story of a young scholar who attended a Dharma discourse. He had little experience, but was humble and attentive. The teacher spoke only a few words about letting go of attachment. Even a fleeting lesson became a life-changing awakening. The Buddha compared insight to tasting soup. The flavor is experienced immediately. It is not delayed. The tongue does not wait to understand the ingredients. It simply receives the nourishment fully. In the same way, a discerning mind comprehends truth directly. One instant of presence can be enough to awaken wisdom. Everyday life offers countless opportunities to taste the Dharma. Listening attentively to others, speaking with compassion, serving sincerely. Just as a tongue tastes soup instantly, a receptive mind perceives the Dharma fully in the present moment. A discerning heart receives wisdom fully, just as the tongue immediately tastes the flavor of soup. The Buddha's teaching reminds us that insight depends on readiness, attentiveness, and sincerity. Even brief encounters with the wise or short moments of mindful reflection can transform a life completely. There was once a woman who cared for the sick and elderly in her village. One day, a monk visited and spoke briefly about compassion and selflessness. The words touched her deeply. She reflected and integrated the teaching into her daily life. Each act of service became a moment of realization. Though she heard only a few words, her understanding blossomed fully. The essence of Dharma had entered her heart. In meditation, the principle is the same. Sitting for hours does not guarantee clarity. Awareness is not measured by duration. A single mindful breath, observed with attention, can illuminate the impermanence of all phenomena, the arising of thoughts, and the depth of compassion. Insight arrives naturally when the mind is ready to perceive. Everyday experiences are also opportunities to taste the Dharma. A brief act of kindness, a moment of patience in traffic, a gentle word spoken to a friend or stranger, each is a teaching that, when received with discernment, cultivates understanding and opens the heart. Small, consistent practice strengthens the ability to recognize truth in every circumstance. The Buddha often spoke briefly, yet his words awakened countless disciples. Some heard only a sentence or a short instruction and realized the nature of suffering, impermanence, and freedom. They practiced diligently from that moment. Even in the present day, a single word of guidance or a simple reflection on a teaching can bring clarity when the heart is open. Consider a young student learning mindfulness at school. A teacher points out, for a moment, the sensation of the breath. The student practices attentively. That single lesson becomes the foundation for a lifetime of awareness and wisdom. The brevity of instruction does not diminish its impact. The readiness and attentiveness of the student make the understanding immediate. Friends, this verse encourages us to cultivate attentiveness, openness, and humility. Wisdom is not gained through arrogance, distraction, or repetition alone. It arises when the heart is fully present and receptive. The soup of Dharma is offered constantly. The tasting depends on the readiness of our mind. The verse also teaches urgency. Life is fleeting. Opportunities for learning and practicing may appear briefly. When they arise, we should approach with attention and sincerity. One moment of mindfulness, one act of compassion, one teaching absorbed with clarity can awaken understanding equivalent to years of unmindful study. And every moment of mindfulness nourish our heart. May we integrate compassion, kindness, and wisdom in all aspects of life. The essence of the verse is simple yet profound. The tongue tastes the soup immediately. The discerning mind understands Dharma instantly. Presence, openness, and attentiveness are the keys. Through these, even a brief moment is enough for awakening. Thank you for watching my video. Namo Amitabha. I wish to bring this merit towards all disciples and sentient beings, all of whom will attain Buddhahood. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate your time.